Professor Black Ops, you see it. Let's get it. Biden deepfake, talking about the selective service, but it was a deepfake, meaning it was a artificial intelligence generated video. So let's get into it. Let me unshare that, reshare the video, make sure the sound's on. So what really caught my eye on this, it says legitimate use of deepfakes AI generated video declaring World War III. I guess what threw me off was the legitimate use of that. So let's get in the article and just check it out. Legitimate use of deepfakes AI generated video of Biden. Uh, right wing commentator Jack aired a deepfake video of President Joe Biden this week, announcing the return of the military draft and the beginning of Third World War, which we both know those weren't true. We agree. Look at the video here shortly. Experts are split on whether it was a dangerous misuse of technology or an actual example of how a medium can be handled responsibly. The video, which Jack predicted was a sneak preview of things to come, was shared with more than 2 million followers on his Twitter. The footage featured chyron that referenced the realities of nuclear war and depicted Biden invoking the Selective Service due to growing tensions with Russia and China. The illegal Russian offensives have been swift, callous, and brutal. It's barbaric, the AI generated Biden states. Putin illegally occupied Kyiv, and the impending Chinese blockade of Taiwan has created a two-front national security crisis that requires more troops than the voluntary military can supply. So let's check out the
illegal Russian offensive has been swift, callous, and brutal. It's barbaric. Putin's illegal occupation of Kyiv and the impending Chinese blockade of Taiwan has created a two-front national security crisis that requires more troops than the volunteer military can supply. I have received guidance from General Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, that the recommended way forward will be to invoke the Selective Service Act, as is my authority as president.
Once again, we got to remember that's a deep fake. That's not actually him.
The first to be called in a sequence determined by national lottery will be men and women whose 20th birthday falls during calendar year 2023. Remember, you're not sending your sons and daughters to war. You're sending them to freedom. God bless our troops and God bless Ukraine.
So that was super interesting how they ended it, right? With the deep fake. So let's get back to the article. I think too they said men and women. So I think they got a lot of people revved up and worked up. So that was another a unique part of the video. So let's keep reading the article. Once the clip finished, it appears on the screen to offer commentary on the AI generated scenario. What we just played for us was a sneak preview, coming attraction, a glimpse into the real world and beyond. Now that was an AI. I don't want to say a recreation, but maybe a pre-creation of President Biden, designed and scripted by our producers here for a show that can happen if President Biden was to declare active selective service and begin drafting 20-year-olds here in the United States, right? So I guess from a real world scenario, we're always talking about doing tests and playbooks, right? That makes the playbook super real when you have an AI generated stuff announcing stuff. The segment proved controversial online, with some referring to the display as nauseatingly irresponsible. Creating something like this is so nauseating, irresponsible, and such bad faith. Such a waste of resources can only be completely unsurprised. One critic tweeted, so it looks like Linda Lee Wallace was not happy. So concerns would also raise of the ability of people watching different but legitimate and manipulated media. So that's one thing I think it actually crystallizes. When you're looking at media, it could be an AI deep fake. Is it real? Is somebody trying to get you to act on something that you normally wouldn't act on? Despite both the tweet stated that the video was in fact created with AI, one of the first comments on the video nevertheless is as if they were if what they were seeing was real. Even though the video talked about it, a lot of people blocked that out, right, and said, "Is this real?" And I actually had a couple people on my Facebook timeline talk about it. Is this legitimate or some sort of AI deep fake? He said in the video what it was at the end. Speaking with Daily Dot authors generated AI expert Nina argued that the advanced AI related technologies will lead to further degradation of the truth in content seen online, even when it's specified as manipulated. Right? You can say it's manipulated, and people still going to trust it and run with it. So that's the scary part. We're going to see a lot more AI generated content that will be in context where it is marked as being AI generated, but people are still fooled, right? People don't read and comprehend, right? They act emotionally. Twitter initially responded to the video by placing a fact check notice on the tweet. The notice was removed after, though, likely giving the footage clearly note that it had been created by AI. They took the fact check off of this tweet. Blue Aaron is melting down, saying, "I'm now attempting to create domestic insurgents. Stay mad, freaks." So the Daily Dot reached out to him over the contact form on his media website, Human Events, but did not receive a reply. On the other hand, Sam Gregory, a deepfake expert and program director at Human Rights Organization, witnesses said the video was an example of legitimate use of deepfakes. This video is a visualization of a hypothetical or potential future to further a discussion, and it's partly into contextualized as such, Gregory told. We have already seen AI generated imagery used to present potential climate futures, offer unexpanded satirical voice of politicians, and defake it till they do it, and offer perspectives on current events, realities from people who have died with resurgence deepfakes. Gregory also said he appreciated, didn't use the video to warn about the dangers of deepfakes, which he describes as an overused technique that seems to contribute to the undermining trust in real media, but to focus on political hypotheticals. As we approach deepfakes and synthetic media regulations norms, it's important we protect expressive speech, political speech, and satire. However, I did not think it's key that we also think how, particularly now when people are not clear what can and can't be faked, that we also emphasize visible disclosure, labeling in places like TV, web use of news like deepfakes. While the feeling towards video was largely along political lines across social media, experts continue to argue that such issues are more complex. Synthetic media expert Henry likewise noted that although the video clearly labels itself as AI generated, even honest deepfakes can produce the same issues that they made deceptively. This clearly is designed to grab viewers' attention before being clearly disclosed as fake. But if taken out of context in a fraction of informational ecosystem, the audience response could be very different. In a statement to Daily Dot, in this respect, artistic or well-meaning deepfake contents can still fall victim to the crude form of media manipulations that are much more prominent online. Creators need to consider now just how they intend to generate content to be received and how it could be misrepresented when it's released in the wild. And to be honest, nation states has been doing that. Such content has undoubtedly become exponentially more commonplace as the barriers to entry continues to drop for AI-related technologies. It's genuinely unclear whether the public is truly ready. The public is not ready. The public is not ready. But so I just want to touch on that. We've been talking about deepfakes a little on this channel. I probably got 3 or 4 videos on the deepfake. So once again, legitimate use of deep fakes. They show Biden talking about selective service. I think he was trying to get you to see the reality and how clear it's easy to get confused with deep fakes. So once again, Professor Black Ops, watch out for these deep fakes. Please subscribe.